Hello grade 12s, my name is Priscilla SANELANE. Welcome to my channel, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are doing exam prep for the upcoming paper 2 English literature. Now in this video we are going to focus on both the home language as well as the first additional language. The purpose of this video is essentially to walk you through what the question paper is going to look like and what you can expect. And we are also going to touch on how to answer some of the questions. We are going to go deeper into what you can do to maximize your marks in the virtual classes that we are going to be having. The one for English is going to be on Wednesday the 11th at 4 p.m. And here's more on how you can join us. The good news is I now offer once-off live virtual classes to help you with your last-minute preparations for your exam papers. The timetable you are looking at shows you the upcoming virtual class date so that you can book for your papers accordingly. Booking your session is very simple and affordable. All you have to do is send me an email on the email address you are seeing on the screen, and on the subject line write exam prep. First, we are going to look at how to answer questions. We touched a little bit on this when we were looking at the scope, but now I'm here to remind you of it again just one more time. The paper that I'm referring this from is last year's question paper, and it is linked in the description box below. So starting with home language, you have section A. Section A is the poetry section. Out of the 12 that are prescribed, 4 will come out. They will need you to choose only 2 and then also answer one unseen question, which will be question 5. In section B, we are looking at a novel. There are going to be 4 questions that are going to come out of the 2 novels that you have focused on, which is the Picture of Dorian Gray or The Life of Pi. Most likely you have read only one of these. Now when you do answer, you are required to answer out of either an essay question or a contextual question. Later we will show how the essay questions are going to look like and how the contextual questions will look like. Lastly, in the home language paper you have section C, which is drama. Out of drama we have 3 drama books: Hamlet, Othello, and The Crucible. Each of them will have 2 questions, one on essay and one that is going to be contextual. And depending on what you answered, the type of question you answered in section B of the novels, then you will choose the opposite when it comes to section C. So if the normal novels you answered essay, that means in section C you will do contextual and vice versa. Then we get on to the first additional language paper. The first additional language paper is divided into 4 sections. Section A is going to be novels, from which you are required to choose any one of them. There are no rules of if you chose this there, then you have to choose this one there. So section B is going to be drama. You can also answer literally any one of them. Either Macbeth or My Children, My Africa. You will see the mark allocation is 35 marks, so 1 becomes sufficient. And then we also have section C and section D. When you choose these sections, you basically have to answer both of those questions. So you will see it's actually just one question, 5.1 and 5.2. So that means if you choose to answer the section of short stories, you will have to answer both short stories. Hence, you see the end in the middle. Similarly with the poetry, if you choose to answer the first poem, you must answer the second poem as well. Now let's look at what does an essay question in terms of poetry looks like. Now, as you know, we don't have this in the first additional language, so it is only people who are doing home language who will have to worry about something like that. So if you were to say I'm answering an essay question in the poetry section, what is it going to look like? You see that first they will give you a poem that you know and familiar with. Most likely you would have read it before, and then under it says Dixon's poem examines how people are in the mercy of nature. Discuss that statement with a close reference to diction, imagery, and tone. Your response should take the form of a well-constructed essay of 250 to 300 words, about 1 page. So that means it needs to have an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. Answering as an essay question is going to be the number one priority of the virtual class that we are going to have. So basically, we are going to be teaching how to answer these, especially the ones that are in essay context. Then we have drama. Drama can also again come up with an essay question. The essay question looks as follows. They will tell you to either look at the question. This one is on Hamlet and it says question 10. At the end of the play, Horatio refers to Hamlet as sweet prince. Assess the validity of Horatio's view of Hamlet with reference to the play as a whole. Your response should be in the form of a well-constructed essay of 400 to 450 words. That's 2.5 pages. So because you will be required to answer either one between the novel and the drama as an essay question, so it means that you cannot completely escape answering as an essay question. At least one of them you would have to answer as an essay. Then we go to look at what contextual essays look like. Now, in home language, you are going to have contextual essays, but mostly what first editional is going to be contextual essays. As you're seeing there, we have a poem of first editional. Look at the styling of a contextual essay. They will ask you things like complete the sentence below, and you will also see even in the drama they make it playful and make it easy and light for you to answer. However, it is still very important that you know what the poem is about, or the messaging of the poem, what the poet was trying to portray with the poem that they gave, because those are going to be some of the questions that they will ask, the feeling that they were trying to portray and the message that they were trying to pull through, and those are some of the things that you get from just practicing the poem itself. The contextual poetry question in home language will also have a similar setup, in that you will be given a poem that you know, except for that one that is an unseen poem, and then under it you will be asked questions that follow. So for example, in 3.1 they ask you about things like the atmosphere of the poem, and then they will keep asking you to refer to different lines and take out the figures of speeches and explain the effects of the punctuations that were used even in the poem. So those are the things that you will have to look at. So when you're doing home language, you have to make it an intention of paying attention to what the poem beyond the words is about. So go deeper in the intention of the poet when they were writing the poem. What were they trying to get across? Why would they put a question mark there? Why would they put a semicolon? So those are the things that you have to think about beyond just knowing the figures of speech and so forth. Then we also have your novels and your drama that can come as contextual questions. So the contextual questions are going to be a lot similar between the two papers, except in the first editional language is going to look a little bit playful, like you're seeing with the one on this slide right now. This one is a contextual question based on My Children, My Africa. The first one there, they're asking you to choose a different or choose a description and match it in column A and B. So basically they have given you some facts regarding the characters of each cast member. So that means that you have to know what your character is about and be able to match them. And then there are some also additional questions that will follow that will keep referring you to an extract. They will give you an extract that comes out of the drama itself. There are questions that are going to just be based on the extract and questions that are going to be based on the drama or the novel as a whole. Now, in my humble opinion, when it comes to first editional language, because you're not required to answer all sections, I believe, in my opinion, the easier sections are the drama, that's if you have read the book, and the section on poetry. With home language, unfortunately, you have to answer all sections. To have YouTube recommend you more of my videos, be sure to click the like button and subscribe to the channel. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below.